Well, good evening, everybody. I'm glad you could join me this evening, and happy Thanksgiving week coming up. And we'll just give it about another minute so other folks can join. We've got 4 or 5 folks already. And tonight's focus is going to be on how to use your IRA to diversify and get into Costa Rica. I think most of us on here have been involved in talking about Costa Rica for a long time. It's not unusual for me to deal with people for 7, 8, 9 years before they're finally ready. So that's kind of normal. I recognize some names here. So we will get started here right now. And I'm going to stop the video. We're going to put up a Okay, we have to, let me get this screen share working correctly. I'm not a technological wizard, as you're going to find out before too long if you've not already figured it out. Okay, so here's the topic for this evening. And I'm going to show you some examples of our homes and a little bit about Grandview. But the reason I'm talking about IRAs this evening is because in my lifetime, I don't think I've ever seen the stock market and 401ks doing what they're doing right now. You know, and I don't care how they're doing it. I'm not going to argue politics or anything else. It doesn't make any difference because I've been around people, I mean, gosh, even as early as last year, where the fluctuations in the stock market can make a difference of $250,000, $1 million, whatever. And, you know, when guys are getting and girls are getting ready to retire, when they're seeing their funds go down by that kind of money, they get panicky. So, you know, with the stock market where it is today, and I'm not into stocks. I've always been a real estate guy because I think stocks are probably not much more than gambling. And I would just think that with the stock markets the way they're at, with the 401ks where they're at, it's not going to hurt to diversify a little bit, especially if you have the means. And one very easy way, and it's simple, we've done quite a few of these IRA rollovers at Grandview. It's very easy to do. It's basically, and we don't do it ourselves anymore. We used to help people do it, but basically get your closest financial services guy, and for a couple $100, they set this thing up. You can take the money out of your IRA, put it into Costa Rica, and basically from that point on, they're doing like a yearly report. You know, it doesn't cost much money to keep this going. They do a yearly report, and that's it. I do want to point out, though, that this is for investments. You're not allowed to use the property yourself. This is for investment only. But what people are doing is they're anticipating retiring in 4 to 5 years, let's say. This is a great way to get into the market right now. Let it build in appreciation, and then when you are ready to retire, the tax advantages and everything else are there for you, and then you can start using the property. And there are tax advantages, and the way things are going today, I'm not going to try to pretend that I'm an expert on all the issues and all the positive aspects of this, but I know there's some definite tax advantages, especially with Roth IRAs, that when you withdraw from that, they're tax-free, et cetera. So it's really something to keep in mind. And what we've done for a couple people is they've bought 2 lots abutting each other. One lot would be for themselves, and the other lot would be for their IRA. So they could put a small guest cabin on there or some sort of cabin, use that as an Airbnb sort of thing. I mean, there's lots of ways to use this if you're opening up your mind a little bit and then, you know, just doing some thinking of how you could use that to the best advantage. And because we're in charge of the pricing, and, you know, with the things going the way they are today in Costa Rica, I mean, gosh, we're so under the market value at our square meter pricing. It's not unethical, immoral, or impossible to say, okay, you're buying two lots. Let's say they're $150,000 for both lots. I can charge whatever I want, and as long as I can establish a credible price uh, for the other lot, you could take one lot for 50, pay that with cash, and use your IRA to buy the other one for 100, and have that in your IRA and use that as an income producing property, or just hold on to it as it appreciates. So there's lots of ways to look at it. The most important thing I want to tell you tonight is that it's easy. There's nothing complicated at all. I mean, we've done at least a half a dozen of these accounts, and I've not heard one person gripe about anything being complicated or costly or a pain in the butt. So very, very easy to do. And I really, really suggest that because our market, and we bought at the low point years ago, and we're keeping our prices very reasonable, this would be a fantastic time to diversify, take a little chunk out of your IRA and get it out of the States, get it into somewhere that's appreciating. Not that, there's not places in the United States that aren't appreciating these days, but where we're at in Costa Rica and on the Caribbean in particular, for sure, things are appreciating. So basically, I will send this to you if you request it. It's a very simple thing, but really the most important thing is to talk to your financial advisor, because things could have changed in the last 6 months. So you want to make sure that you get somebody that's up on all the changes and to be compliant. Like I said, don't think that this is something hard to do, difficult, complicated. It's exactly opposite. A lot of people don't know about the IRAs. They figure, hey, they got to keep it in there. And, when you're watching the stock market go from 28 to 26 and in between, that's a scary thing. I know a lot of people over the years refuse to open up their mailing every month to see what was happening with their account, because it was so bad sometimes. They just figured there's nothing they can do about it. So, and down here at the bottom, these folks here used to charge $3,500 per transaction. That's way less than that these days, especially if you're using somebody local. So basically, that's what we're talking about as far as taking advantage. Now, what could you get for your money? I want to show you a little bit about what we're doing. And I'm going to go over to some albums, and I'm going to click the real driver of our economy on the Caribbean side of Costa Rica. And trust me, this 35 minutes is going to go quickly, and I'm going to leave a lot unsaid. But I want to let you know that in my travels, and I've traveled quite a bit, there's nowhere in the world that I've seen more activity, more growth, more appreciation, more opportunity. Costa Rica runs a little bit slower than you may think sometimes. They have plans that may be a little bit slower, but everything that we've anticipated over the years has come to pass. Here's photos of the new road that they're building. Now, this is the main road that runs from San Jose out past Grandview out into Limon Port. They're going from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. Might not sound like a big deal, but because of the economy is booming so much, that sometimes you get these tractor trailers on here, and it's really kind of crazy with the traffic. So it's going to be an awesome thing to be able to pass these trucks and trailers as the economy grows. There's a lot more to that story. There's trains coming that's going to be taking the place of the trucks and all, but we can get into that in a little later time. Let me move this here. So that's just a quick picture, and every bridge, I forget how many bridges they're going to have to build, probably close to 20. So that's what the slow part of the process is right now, is getting the bridges built. They've really got the road laid out as far as the 4 lanes the whole way. It's ready to go. It's not going to take them long to get that finished. I'm going to If you could mute your video, please, or mute your audio, folks, if you can, I'd appreciate that. Would help me out a little bit. Okay. Now, this is what's the crux of all the growth on the Caribbean side of the country. This is why we need the road. This is why we need the railroad. They have built this new port, and this is the Port of Moine. This is brand new that we're looking at right now, and it's only one of 3 islands that they've built. Okay, this is the first one. It's in total operation right now, and the quick explanation is this is only the 3rd mega port in the world. And it's designed because the ships are too big to go through the Panama Canal, even though they've widened the Panama Canal. They're called post-Panamax ships that can hold up to 12,000 containers. So they needed a centralized port where they could onload and offload things and distribute them throughout the world. So that's been the plan, and we've known this is going to be happening probably for the last 8 years, and it's kinds of really an amazing thing to see when you go there. The new road systems and all this happening on the sleepy little Caribbean side of the country is quite amazing. What does that mean? You're not going to be a captain of the container ship, I'm sure. However, this is what's stimulating growth throughout our side of the country. We've had to put in a brand new hydroelectric dam because we need so much more electricity because of the growth. The roads are being built, the railroads being built, and guess what? Real estate prices and home values are going nowhere but up. That's the whole point of this section of the presentation, is that you may never even go to the port except to take a look at it, but know that it's the impetus for growth. And because we at Grandview have kept our pricing as low as we have over the years, there's nobody in the area, especially in a gated community, that can even touch us as far as price. And I'm going to go into some of that right here. We're going to look at some of the cabins that we've built. Okay. Okay, now, believe it or not, we've been able to cut our build price down from $75 a square foot to $65 over the years. And the quality that my builder is producing is unbelievable. So I'm going to run through these pretty quick. These are the footers. What he's doing here is there's 10 cabins that this guy's building near the beach, and he's going to be renting them out. They're strictly to rent. And this is the base. Our footers are about 3 foot deep. And this is the kind of rebar that goes in because everything is seismically considered. So we've got tons of rebar and tons of concrete. Okay, this is one of the small cabins. This is basically 1,000 square feet. And believe it or not, you can get this little home right here of 1,000 square feet with 2 bedrooms, etc., for only $60,000. All right, this is not just a, little bamboo hut. Wait till you see I'll tell you what, let's go to the video real quick so you get an overview. I wanted to show you this video right here. And it maybe look like just a slideshow. It depends on the device that you're looking at, but it's going to go through the home. And I want to point out that your IRA investment can be used to build one of these, and we build it to be absolutely bug resistant because termites are alive and well in Costa Rica. We have plank flooring today, granite countertops. This is a standard cabin that we're building today. Look at that work. I've been working with Luis, the cabinet maker, for many years. He's a fantastic cabinet maker. So we're not talking about a cheap quality home. Look at the concrete and the block and the rebar that we use. And you're going to see an amazing difference here at the end quick. I'm going to show you another project. but there's nobody that builds with this quality for that kind of money in the country. And that is something I can guarantee you, because I take my time. I've been all over the country and I spy on as many projects as I can. And there's nobody building like this. Nobody touches it for 120 a square foot, let alone 60. So we're building for half the price and 1/4 of the price of many people. And the reason is our builder was not spoiled with all this gringo pricing on the Pacific years ago. He's a humble local guy. Him and his family do all the work. And as long as they're keeping busy and keeping fed, they're happy. So they're not gouging us. They don't take advantage of us because we're gringos. So this is the kind of quality of home. You don't need to do 2 stories. If you want to do a 1-story home, that's fine. This is just to give you an idea of what you can build. And in Costa Rica, you want to keep it open. You know, you want big porches, lots of windows. You don't want to have this huge, humongous house because you're going to be sitting outside most of the time. All right? So real quick, I'll go back to the beginning and scroll through some of these photos for you. Now, we just came back. These were taken, what, about maybe 4 weeks ago? Okay, there's my lovely wife on the porch. And what I really love is the ventilated ceilings that we have and the roofs. So you do not need air conditioning where we live. Basically, this ventilation will keep your home cool. And of course, because it's all tile and block and concrete, that holds the coolness in as well. There's the plank flooring going upstairs, the roofing. We use several types of wood. Laurel is a very common local wood. I think it's very pretty. It kind of reminds me of black walnut in the States. State-of-the-art doors. This is a metal door. We use almond wood on the porch right there for the railing. So there's touches of modernization and also touches of wood and craftsmanship as well. Modern toilet facilities for sure. I mean, trust me, 20 years ago when I moved to Costa Rica, this was unheard of. You would not be seeing this, okay? Especially for this money. So there's all the doors are custom built. This is a Laurel door as well. Laurel for the ceiling. Very nice vaulted ceilings and fans. Okay. You're not going to get away with this in the States with your workers up there without all kinds of railing and stuff. But this is 5 of the cabins down in a row. These guys do all the work themselves, get the lumber milled, and they put it all together and sand it and finish it right on site. They live on site while they're building. This is a nice view of the bottom going into the living area and kitchen. Okay, beautiful. And these are not finished. Obviously, they were just building, so I didn't get really fancy photos. But you can see they put this really cool. You see this. This is a little 2-burner stove right there, a 2-burner electric stove. It's very nice. Okay, so that's the quality. I'm not going to bore you to death with these photos all night, but that's the kind of quality you can build for $60 a square foot. Okay, this would cost you $60,000. In combination with a lot, you're talking $130,000 or so. Where in Costa Rica? Everybody here has been looking, right? You're not finding that anywhere in Costa Rica. You're just not. I'm very satisfied that we've been able to do that. Okay, how do I find my albums again? Okay. Get right back here. Pardon me, folks. Like I said, I'm not a wizard with this. Of course, I went through this all day today, and I didn't have this trouble. Wanted to find my other. Okay, well, I'm going to go here real quick. Okay, next I want to show you another variety. If you just want a wooden guest house to start with, something small like that, no reason you can't do that. Now, I can't quote an exact price for this because it depends on what style wood or what type of wood, what the wood market is going to, because that fluctuates. But this is cheaper than the block home for sure. So we're talking about getting a 1.5 acre lot with a stream and a gated community with either a concrete home or one of these homes for well under $130,000. Okay. I mean, I'm this kind of guy. My wife is not much of a wood lover like I am. Uh, and I know a lot of ladies don't like the rough textures that can be in a wooden cabin, but aesthetically, I think they're very, very pretty. And this is a way you could start very inexpensively in Costa Rica. So there's nothing really to stop you, because if you're not looking at spending, $115,000, $120,000 for a home in Costa Rica today, you're just not going to be in the game, right? That's just the fact. So I know for sure we're keeping them as inexpensive as we can do it. You could also do something that's only 750 square feet. All right. This is a nice little design. You can see it could be a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, living, kitchen. I mean, this could be a starter home, or listen, tiny homes are popular today, right? That's the new thing, the tiny homes. So why not? You could do this and a 1.5 acre lot, 1.25 acre lot for about $115,000 combination. We'll finance the lot for you. We'll do a combination finance, the home and a lot. Now, real quick, before we go, this is just to give you an idea. 30, 40 minutes is not enough to do a whole lot, I know. But I wanted to show you, I just got something today from Balazzo. I got an email this morning, and I've been out there. I spy on them all the time. This is what they build. Very contemporary, and you'll notice that, you got to put vegetation there, or you're going to hear your neighbors snoring. They're that close to each other. Plus, it's so steep, you have to spend so much money in keeping the dirt from running away. Anyway, you go out here. Now, this is what I want to show you in regards to the quality of building and the price. Now, this is a Palazzo as well. This is what their home is built. Remember the concrete I just showed you for our homes? This is what they're talking about, okay? Drywall and aluminum studs. And you do see they got some steel piers down in here. But basically, this is the type of building that many builders will do when they put foam in there and everything else. Listen, not that there's really anything particularly wrong with it, although I don't like drywall on the Caribbean side because we have more humidity than the Pacific. So I really wouldn't recommend a lot of drywall in the Caribbean. So, it is what it is. I just wanted to show you that real quickly because, let's see, where's the, I had the, I can't find the other thing I was looking for. Anyway, price-wise, the real difference here is that they would be getting 4 times the price for their lot and one of these homes on it. So if you would take the same size home of 1,000 square feet on 1.25 acres at their price, you're talking $400,000 to $500,000. Okay, and I can back that up. I've got all the data. They just sent it to me today. So I think that's the biggest key, is that now is the time to diversify, because you don't want to lose any of your money. Keep it safe in Costa Rica and invest in the least expensive and most well-built home that I know of in Costa Rica. We've worked for 10 years to provide this for people. This isn't just a random happenstance. We work very, very hard in sculpting our project and getting the right builder. Before we close out, let me show you a little bit of drone video. Hopefully it plays well on your machine, whatever you're looking at. Okay, this gives you an idea. We're in phase 4 down here. Okay, there's the site plan. We've got 4 new homes being built at the moment. Here's Volcan Turrialba right there. It's far enough away that you can look at it without being scared it's going to blow up on you, but it's really cool to have that in the background. This is phase 4 road. This is basically all of phase 4 coming down through here. And you can just see how green and beautiful everything is. This is all year round, folks. That's one of the biggest differences. The Pacific side during their 6-month dry season, which we don't have, just turns to dust and heat. I mean, it's 100 degrees. Everything is nothing but dust and dirt. You will never have a clean car for 6 months on the Pacific side, besides your whole house being full of dust and dirt all the time. We don't have that. We have a couple of rainy months. Historically, it was July and December. That can vary a little bit, but we're not inundated for 6 months and then turn into a desert. There's our waterfalls that we have in phase 4. It's open to everybody. You can swim there all year round. The temperature's perfect. Then there's a lot of smaller waterfalls as you go down through the rivers, but this is one of our bigger ones. My doggies love them. We take a nice long walk every day, and that's where they end up. There's just a view of our road. I'll jump ahead here just a little bit. You can see we have one nice house. We're building a new house right across the street and then one right up the road in lot 116. But this is a gorgeous home that Scott built, had built by Juan. And Scott did do his own cabinetry and stuff. It turned out perfectly. So this is a Canadian that really loves Costa Rica. His whole family's there now. They have jobs at the local university, and they love it. This is lot 116 here, and this is the road that runs down to the waterfall. I kept that open so everybody can walk down through there. So it's telling me I have about 3 minutes left. So just take this remaining time to let you know that we do. Let me see. Let's put our tour up there. We do a monthly tour. We change things up a little bit. We can do a tour for 3 days for only $499. It's quick. We get a lot done in a couple days, but it's all you need to know about Grandview on our side of the country to get a feel for it, if it would be for you. And what we do for folks, if they complete the tour, we will also give them a $1,000 discount on a lot of their choice. So that would more than pay for your trip. So anyway, I know it was quick, goes by very quick. I know I only got about a quarter of the information out there that I'd like, but I think it's enough, especially for the folks that were intrigued with the IRA information. I just want to let you know it's very simple. Just contact me. I'll run you through it. I'll help whatever designated person that you use figure out what you need. You won't be dissatisfied with how easy it is. I can promise you that, because we've done enough of them. So if you're intrigued with that, shoot me an email. I'm going to record this. I can resend this out, And if there's anything else that you want to know about, I mean, I got like 10 million more building photographs. I've got information on this Palazzo as far as the pricing, which I lost here for the time being. So I could show you that. And in general, I think the important thing to know is that Costa Rica seems to me so much friendlier than other countries that I've been. Not only as visitors and as just tourists, but I've made some very good friends that are locals. Yeah, you're going to have to learn a little bit of Spanish and you'll have fun doing it. Trust me. If a dummy like me can do it, anybody can do it. And out of all this stuff, we're talking about the money part, we're talking about the building and how good the building is. But you know what? If you're in some place that you don't like and the people you don't like, what good is it, right? So if I would have to rate everything that I've talked about tonight, it's that the people are the best part of it. The society, the culture, the friendliness, the humility. I'm married to a Costa Rican. She's the best thing that ever happened to me. My whole family that's Costa Rican is spectacular. We have such a blast going on vacations together. So above all, let me point out that if you've been thinking about Costa Rica, get your boots on the ground, check it out, because it's going to be a feeling. It's not going to be an analytical decision. It's going to be a feeling, can I do this or can I not? And that comes to you very quickly. And trust me, there's nothing to sell there. It sells itself. If you love Grandview, you love Costa Rica, we've got the best bang for the buck of anybody I know about in the country. So with that, I'm going to sign off, say thank you very much for joining, and